All
Hi.
right, thank you for joining us today. My name is Julia Clark, and I'm the Northeast Regional Coordinator for ChildcareTennessee. And today we have a special guest joining us. It's Angie Smith from the TTU Child Development Lab in Cookeville, Tennessee. I've asked her to come and just share with us. They have an amazing outdoor natural playscape. And I've invited her just to tell us about that environment, how they came about creating that space. But what we're going to do is I'm just going to ask some questions. Angie's going to share with us her experiences, and hopefully it'll be something that all of us can just take and enjoy and also build our programs as well on some of their experiences. So the first question I have for you, Angie, is would you tell us how and why you decided to create a natural playscape for your program?
So we decided that a playscape with a lot of nature would benefit our program because we have loved the Reggio Emilia style to learning and just kind of more bringing nature indoors. And we've noticed that the children's focus was a little bit stronger. So we just wanted to bridge that gap and extend that learning from the classroom. When we moved to our new space, it was just fitting that we sought out a naturescape playground. Financially, it was better for us, more for the children and the families. It just seemed to be a good fit.
So tell us a little bit about the design process. How did you come up with this amazing design for your play space?
Well, honestly, we were seeking out how we wanted it to look. And in the beginning, it felt like we were trying to eat the whole elephant with one bite. So we had broken it down into some smaller concepts of what was important to us. So we started with the children and families, and we asked the children what they liked, what they really needed as far as like a slide and do we need rocks to move and how do we want to build in the sand and different things that we could bring into the program. We worked with a landscape artist, Funk's Landscaping, here in Cookeville, Tennessee. And funny story, I had my drawing on a piece of construction paper and a crayon drawing because that's what we do in preschool. And I took it to him and said, how can we make this a reality? He just took our ideas and kind of ran with them. Along the way, of course, there were things that worked and things that didn't work. It was a learning process, and we all kind of grew together as we experimented, if you will, with different ideas and different designs of what would work for each individual classroom and the children.
We all know that playgrounds can be a real siphon on our funds and our resources. What kind of resources did you take advantage of to create this space?
So I guess our motto is we are not too proud to beg. So, it's amazing at what families may have lying around, what you can find at garage sales, Goodwill, just different areas that you could bring things in for the children that met their needs and met the needs of the space. We wrote some grants. We reached out to a few corporations, and we were very fortunate that we received those. And we had a couple of donors who were interested in our project, and that was such a huge blessing for us financially.
What are really some of the main benefits you have found to having a more natural play environment as opposed to the more traditional structures?
Wow, I don't know where to start on that one. We have just found that the focus of the children is there, their creativity, it just enriches so much more play. I shared an example with you. We had some empty planters where we had planted some shrubs, and those planting containers are sometimes a bowl of soup if they're taking them to their mud kitchen. Sometimes they're a basketball goal, sometimes they're a soccer goal, and sometimes, we have a garden outside. Sometimes they're just the harvesting basket. So the possibilities are endless for the children. And we have also found that it is a great way to bring in outdoor experiences in our classrooms and in our lessons. So if we're talking about shapes and looking for letters and different things, we can take that outside on our playground, and the children can use the loose parts to just enhance that learning component on our playground. And so that to us as educators was so important.
You've got all this nature out here, and I know that there's always some great challenges with that, but how do you because not everybody likes gardens, not everybody likes or thinks that way about a natural playscape. How do you manage that? Is there staff members that really take to that? How do you manage that?
There are some people who love nature and love gardening, and there are others who they're not so good at it. I have referred to myself sometimes as hospice for plants, but we do have, yes, we do have several staff members here who are gardeners. They do have that green thumb and they are interested. And so, they have their parts as far as helping with the gardening and helping with some different ideas of different things we can plant. And then, of course, there's others who we say, I can take the mulch and put it, where it needs to be. And I can do more of the lifting of the rocks or whatever we need to do. We are very fortunate too. We have the foster grandparent program here.
Oh, nice.
And we have that intergenerational component that helps on our playground because our foster grannies, they do have those green thumbs and they help us with the maintenance. They give lots of suggestions on how we can care for it. And then of course, Google does that as well. But, when we start running low or things need a little bit of maintenance, I would say the majority of us, we want to pull that together because that's what makes the playground so inviting.
So if you were to be retrospective on the whole process, do you have a couple do's or don'ts you'd want to share? Just if you wish you'd known then, what would you do differently?
Yes. So, looking back on it, there's always things. It's like when you build a house or you design anything, you always look back and think, maybe I would have done this differently. In the beginning, when we first started this journey, it was so overwhelming. And I think sometimes we let that consume us to the point where it maybe limited some of our creativity and thinking. So, what was beneficial for that is to just kind of break it off into smaller sections and just have more conversations with others who were involved and interested in the playground of, we can't necessarily do this, but what can we do? And just changing the way that we thought about it and the way that it felt. Some other do's, do ask, do have a plan, because when you know what your end goal is, it's easy to ask for, maybe somebody wants to get together with another family and donate rocks. And maybe someone says, I can donate the sand. And piece by piece, it just all comes together to make what we call, I shared with you, we call our playground a labor of love, because truly the community, the families, the children, and all of us came together to create that space. And it just welcomes you and it feels good to be there. So I would say do ask. Don't be afraid to seek out other people's opinions. And it's amazing what people can come up with and how creative they are. We have a lot of people who can upcycle just about anything. And I'm like, how in the world did you think of that? But it looks beautiful.
That is perfect. Well, such great information to share with our group and for us to be able to have a full understanding. It's a big process and it's a big project to take on. And
Yes.
to be able to get from the experience of someone else, that's a huge resource for us.
Mhm.
So today, I thank you for joining us and we will talk to you again soon. And thank you for sharing this opportunity with us.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.